Hey, friends, I am so excited about today's chat because we're actually on a couch and I brought back my very favorite person because this conversation is about babies. And we wanted to talk to you about it and just kind of keep you up to speed, all the internet aunties out there, on some of the things that we are exploring, some of the things that are happening in our life, and just sharing what we're learning. And what's great is this episode is actually brought to you by the incredible people and team at Nike. So we've been working with Nike. You're going to hear more from them and about them and how they're actually helping support this stage in our journey. And so I wanted to introduce today's guest, who you already know and I definitely love and you love. My Alex is here.
I'm excited to be back.
Yes, my Mr. Fella. So y'all have been keeping up with our journey from the very beginning, especially because I first shared that I was going through a divorce and relationship transitions and all of that with you here. We've been walking through this process now, believe it or not, for almost 4 years, which is kind of bananas because now, we are at this place where I have met someone new and it's going so great. And we've been in a relationship for years and years, and we are engaged and we are, getting married. And as part of that, we've been talking about having children. And so we've had a lot of questions about that because I'm already a mom of 3. And I know that a lot of people wonder how to navigate that. I'm 39 and this would be my second marriage and I'm already a mom. And I know a lot of people say, like, I get it all the time in my DMs. They're like, Nicole, what is this like? What is this? We've already done an episode about you being a stepdad.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, but people want to know more about what is it like sort of growing your family, at least for me, growing and for you starting.
Yeah.
So I guess let's take everyone back to move them forward. Let's start with when we first met and kind of how we felt about children. What were your thoughts around building your own family?
Yeah, I mean, I was definitely in the place where it was coming out of the pandemic. And so having kids wasn't exactly on my radar.
Sure. Did you always know you'd be a dad? Or
I always had an inclination to want to be a dad. I knew that I would make a good dad. Like my dad has always told me I'd make a good dad. Like people have always told me for a long time that I would make a good dad. But, there's always that voice inside, just like in your profession, just like in whatever else you do, you're like I don't know if I'll be good enough, or I don't know.
Talk about that.
Well,
Because
I don't know if I want to take on that kind of responsibility or if I'm capable of taking on that kind of responsibility.
That's a biggie. So talk about that just for a second here, because for people who are listening for the first time, Alex is a musician. So can you mention profession? Can you let everyone know kind of what you mean about, yes, you knew you'd be a good dad, but you had hesitancy. I also think this is important for anyone who's listening who's kind of younger, because this generation is also really big on, I don't know if we want to take on parenting because of what's happening in the world.
I've heard it so many times. Oh, the world's so messed up. I don't want to bring a kid into this crazy world.
So can you talk a little bit more about that? Is that what you mean? Or
no, just am I smart enough to teach a child to survive here?
Wow.
Or am I capable of and responsible enough with my time management to guide this child and make sure they learn all the things or get, and yeah, it's a scary thing, At the end of the day, it's like, I know that I am, and I am capable, I am responsible enough, and I am selfless enough to put them first. And that's another big thing. Am I selfless enough? Am I capable of putting somebody else before myself? And when you're single for a while, you're just thinking about yourself. So it's hard to think about flipping your life upside down for this baby you've never met.
Sure,
You know what I mean?
That. I get
this
that.
thing. So it's hard to fathom
being a parent
and going into that world when just everything is so opposite.
Sure.
But, I also hadn't met anybody, up until now that I wanted to kind of jump into that world with, I always knew I did, but I knew that once I met the right person that I would want to marry and have a kid with, that, I would probably lean that direction. Then I'd figure it out.
So it's interesting you say that, because for those of you who don't know, Alex is the type of person where even if he goes into a restaurant and he reads a description of an item on the menu, he wants to open up Yelp to find a picture of the dish, right?
I have to see it.
He likes to see or get a visualization of what, as much as he can, of what might be to come. And parenting is just not one of those places where you typically get to do that.
Right. But that's where I was really lucky. because I did get to do that.
Tell us more about
I
that.
did, because you're already a mom. You have 3 girls, and I got to sample the goods.
Oh my gosh. No, it's true. I guess
it's-
it's interesting. And the reason why I wanted to call that out, and yes, that was a little bit of a leading question, is because a lot of the mamas that are in my DMs that are looking for a second chance at love or are looking to, step into that arena again, often feel like their kids are a hindrance or a burden or something like that. But little do you know, for a guy who may not have a family of his own either, but is maybe looking to start one or maybe interested in parenting with you, the fact that you're already a mom might be a bonus. They might love you more because of who you are as a mom.
Oh yeah, because it's really funny because and first you didn't want me to see you.
Oh, let's talk about it.
You didn't want me to see you in that light as a mom because
I wanted you to get to know me first as me. I mean, we can just say that transparently. So when we first met, I did not tell Alex much about my background, my work, my kids, or anything, just for transparently, y'all, safety reasons. We were just dating, and I needed to know, is this guy even legit to me before do I like him before I start disclosing elements about my life, my background, my children, all of that. Now, does it mean that I outright was like, I have no children, I don't know about children, nothing? I mean, in the very beginning, of course we didn't talk about that. We're just dating. You don't even need to know my address. You know what I mean? But little by little, I was like, hey, these are some things you need to know about me. And you didn't even meet the kids until, we were several months in before I was even comfortable.
Yeah, it was
that.
getting definitely serious. But we pretty much laid out our intentions, and we were serious by the time I met them, because I know you're not going to just introduce them to anybody.
And serious, transparently to you, and I think this, if it hadn't worked out with the kids, it wouldn't have been, so we were serious, but it was, internally.
It couldn't have gone to that next step.
It couldn't have gone to the next step.
The check with the kids.
Absolutely. And also
sense.
I needed you to see me as a mom. That was such a huge part of it, was you needed to like and love the person I was as a mother, because it's a different, you could talk about it. I'm a different person when it comes to being a mom.
Yeah, you are. But before that happened, I think this is important to note too, that you didn't want to show me that side of you being a mom, because you didn't want me to see you like we're dating.
Yeah. I wanted to be the cute,
you want to be the cute
girlfriend.
Girlfriend that we can just go on dates and have fun and go out and have a drink and blah blah blah. It's like, once I see you as a mom, you were worried it would kind of ruin.
I just didn't want to be dowdy.
The image.
Yeah, I didn't want to. Well, I wanted us to have because look, my life is a lot, and this. Everyone it's just a lot. I've got 3 kids. I've got a baby mama. I've got an ex. I have internet aunties. Listen, that's real. Now that you've met them, the internet aunties are real. They're not playing either about the babies, So it's just, I come with a lot of peoples, and because of that, I just wanted you to have an opportunity to know and love the person first, and for us to at least rack up those type of memories.
For sure. And it makes sense, but it's funny because you didn't want to show me that, to change your image. But it's so much of
who I am.
But also, it's very much who you are. And then once you did show me that side of you, it actually enabled us to get more serious, because once I saw you in that light as a mother, I was like, oh, she's a really good mom. I could see having a kid with you, because I already know that you're a good mom. I don't need to wait to find out. I can already see it.
I think it's interesting that you say. Thank you for that, by the way. I love you. I think it's interesting that you say that, because again, a lot of moms who think, oh my gosh, I'm coming with these kids and I don't know if a guy's going to be interested in all that. Let's think about the other side of it. Listen, if you find out someone isn't a good mom, how quick are we to make a call around that? It is pretty revealing. I think one of the things that is pretty well known psychologically is if you're unkind to children or unkind to animals, or you aren't able to find vulnerability and selflessness in relation to children and animals, that says a lot about your character.
For sure.
And so you meet someone and you find out that, okay, they know how to do this consistently, right? Because you've seen me parent now for years, and you've seen me parent through one of the most difficult times of my life, is kind of this post-divorce time, as well as teenage years, which is a very big, it's a thing as well. Having seen me, go through that process, I think that you got a pretty good sampler of kind of what it's like.
For sure.
And you've been part of it also, which I love you for.
Yeah.
In that process. So let's talk about what that meant then elephant in the room, I'm not a spring chicken, I'm a seasoned chicken, as my friend Jen always says, right?
Mm-hmm,
So,
mm-hmm.
you know, so you decide you want to have more kids, but you've also decided to not pick a girl who's 25. You know, not that you would date a 25-year-old anyways, but you know,
No, yeah,
yeah, right. Like you aren't with someone who
yeah.
is young enough. You know, I am
Yeah.
of geriatric age. What do they call it? Geriatric maternity
I am of
something.
geriatric
I am of
age.
geriatric
It's
maternity.
like the worst way you could have possibly
Listen,
said
that's
that.
science though.
But
Science says
that's
that.
science. That's
So
right.
it does mean, you know, and again, this episode is sponsored by Nike because, you know, I've really been paying attention to like my fitness, my well-being, my body, particularly since we've met, you know, like I'm far more aware of making sure that I am in good condition, not just to look good for my man, but because we're trying to take on these things and I need to integrate that into my lifestyle.
Oh my God.
you
I mean,
know?
speaking of perfect,
Mhm.
because like I say it all the time, my one job is to carry things. That's like the man's main
Oh my God,
job.
to lift and reach.
Move, carry, whatever.
Reach and all of that, right.
Use the tall.
No, use
like,
my tall. I
use
need
my
to borrow your
Yeah.
tall. Come reach things.
So it's important that I stay in shape, and it's important that I like work out, and I'm serious about maintaining my fitness and stuff. Like, one, because I mean I care about the way I look. I'm in the music industry. It's a part of it.
Yep.
It's important. But two, so I can carry things
Listen.
for you. When the baby comes, whenever that happens, I will be carrying the baby. I will be carrying bags. I will be carrying supplies. I might be carrying you too. I don't know.
It's possible, and I love
your
that.
feet might be hurting. I'll be like, hop on. I
That's
got you.
right. I love
like,
you.
You know, like I need to be fit.
I appreciate that. And also, I'm not running after this kid. Listen, I'm a woman of a certain age. If you want to have another little youngin', okay, I'm not going to be 45-years old running around on this playground. I'm going to be like, go get your son because he's being a lot right now. So, no, all of that I appreciate. But also, prior to you tapping in, you know, when this baby's here, I have to carry this thing solo. You know, like you got to carry the thing of pregnancy is what I mean, not my baby, but the thing of pregnancy. And a lot of that has been paying attention to what can I do at the age that I am, you know, that is ongoing. We were actually literally just having this conversation the other day about one, I've recently lost. Well, so, all right, y'all, we just gonna say it. I put on some happy weight when we met. Relationship weight, you know, and we both did.
We both did.
We both got a little
Yeah, a
soft,
bit,
you know,
a little
because between dating and couching and just being comfortable and all that, travel, like all the things that happen. So put on some weight. But as, you know, now we're several years into the relationship, you know, we've been talking more about starting our family. And one of the things I'm aware of is, look, you can't plan for everything, right? You can't, there's a lot you don't control with babies. You never feel like you have enough money. You never feel like you have enough space or time. You never feel like you're certain enough about the future. But one thing you can prepare for is with your health and your well-being. So like you said, you've been like working out and things like that, you know, but I knew for a fact that I wanted to make sure I managed my diet and that I wasn't coming into it with extra weight on me.
Yeah, I mean, that kid's gonna have you running around.
Yes,
like you're
yes.
Gonna, like if you're lugging around all the extra weight too, it's just gonna be that much harder.
It's gonna be that much harder. And then also knowing that, you know, as a geriatric pregnancy, you know, recovery could be tougher, and you know, and again, you never know what you're going into. We, you know, cross our fingers. We pray to God that, you know, it's a smooth, easy pregnancy with an easy delivery and a healthy child. That's what we all hope for, and that's what we claim in advance. And y'all can all stand in agreement on that with me. But we're also very aware that, you know, one of the things that's great is we want to integrate daily healthy lifestyle and wellness habits that are going to be in alignment with supporting a healthy pregnancy. So let's talk a little bit about some of the daily healthy things that we know we can probably do. You know, one of the first things was I didn't want to go into my pregnancy with extra weight. So I started really managing my intake around extra sugars, around fried and saturated foods, and just being more mindful around my protein intake, because that's something that I felt would help a lot.
Protein coffee.
Protein coffee. Oh, do you want to talk about my protein coffee?
Protein coffee. It's a good hack.
It is.
You can get extra protein.
I don't even know if it's actually a hack, to be honest.
I mean, whatever. It tastes good and it gets you extra protein in the day.
I know. I've been giving you my protein coffees. Are you into it?
Yeah. So, no sugar, no cream. You just put a little protein drink. You know, pre-made one. You know, good one that you can find. Just put it straight up in your coffee. It's got a little bit of like milk in there. It's got a little bit of sugar, so it just gives you a little bit of taste what you need,
Mhm.
and
And
you
you're
know,
getting in like 30 grams of protein with your coffee in the morning.
that's
Like, why
perfect.
wouldn't you do that?
That was
So,
great.
I mean, just little things like that have really been helpful,
Mhm.
in preparing my body for baby, and I'm grateful because I've also gotten off, some extra weight, which is
Mhm.
it's hard to take off, but I'm really glad that I have.
Oh,
And
yeah, look good. She
this
looks
is
good, y'all.
this is not that type of podcast, please, sir. This is a family podcast, mister. So- oh my God, the way you're laughing right now and blushing, I can't even stop looking at me like that.
No.
So, ew.
Okay, go on.
Okay. I wonder, what's funny? Okay, y'all just pause for a minute because all of you guys, I don't know how long we're going to be like this. People tell me that, it can be like this forever, but it feels honeymoony. I am still just as excited and like, not that I don't have weeks where I can't stand you. You know that. Like,
yeah.
yeah, that's like totally like
Bro-
hormonal and normal, right?
Yeah.
But I still am very like blushy around you. And I don't know if that's like, I don't know how long that's going to be.
I don't know. I hope it just
Forever.
doesn't stop.
Yeah, I know.
That's the goal,
It's
I
weird.
guess, right?
I don't know. Yeah, whatever. Anyways, ew. Okay.
Moving on.
Moving on. I'm trying my best. I'm smiling like I love my dentist. So, but that said, you make me forget what I was gonna say. But yeah, so it's interesting because just knowing that I'm doing all these things in preparation of, how like you lose weight for your wedding or you
Mhm.
lose weight for if you're in the industry like in entertainment, it's actually really common that you have to make weight for different things,
Mhm.
whether it is and diet culture is a whole thing, body positivity, y'all. I'm completely in understanding and agreement with like all of that, but it also doesn't change the fact that with certain professions, like for instance, if you're an Olympian, you got to get fit for, the job. Or if you are a churchgoer, you're not going to wear a bikini in church. It's not fair that, people won't accept you the way that you want to be seen. However, realistically, if you want to have access to certain things and spaces, you may have to adapt to fit in those spaces. So that little disclaimer caveat being said, when you work in the entertainment industry, part of that is maintaining your appearance, partly for the gig. So like when I do speaking gigs, it helps that I'm not as heavy because for me, and it may not be for everyone, but for me, that was a challenge, it hurt my knees. I got out of breath. I'm on stage for 45 minutes. Like I had to make an adjustment so I could do my job.
Yeah, and I think that's like the disconnect a lot of time is there. People can think that like maintaining your fitness and stuff is just purely for like
Superficial reasons.
external reasons, cosmetic reasons, just to appear good on stage. But it's like no, there's functional reasons.
Functional reasons, like a musician, like you talk about some of the vocal exercises and lung capacity.
I mean, all that aside, I mean, some of the gigs that I play, I mean, you might be like dancing around, or you need to, in lung capacity, you might be playing for a while, or you might be on your feet for a while, and if you're like not able to do that, you may not be able to do that gig.
That's right. No, that's fair.
And then that's money out of your pocket.
That's fair. Like, look, I'm certain that in Beyonce's off season, sis is hanging out, watching her shows, catching up on Netflix. But by the time she has to hit that stage, she is fit, she is toned.
Because if she wouldn't,
3-hour
there's
show.
no way she'd be making it through that show.
Now, it's like
There's
physically
no way.
couldn't do it. You know what I
She'd pass
mean?
out.
She would pass out. It's just too much. And I think that is the same sort of mindset where sometimes we get so caught up in our like thinking everything's about appearance, and not understanding that it's about wellness. And, I'm not looking to be the slimmest. It's going to take time for my body to recover from pregnancy. We know that, right? I've heard that the average woman takes 2 years before their body resets after pregnancy. And that's average, right? For some, it might be 3. For some, they may bounce back quicker with money, resources, tools, all that, right? Not all of us have access to trainers or whatever else. But, I just want to make sure I'm doing my best to build out the wellness habits of care. We've even talked about how when we were looking at moving in together, our home, we discussed a baby as part of that. Like the neighborhood, the sidewalks.
That was the plan. Like, what kind of neighborhood are we moving into? Yeah, the sidewalks. Is the surrounding area flat? Are there sidewalks, or is it just a street? Like, are there hills? Because that's going to be hard. Even when we're picking a home, like when you get pregnant.
We picked a rancher.
We picked a rancher because they're like, you're not going to want to deal with stairs. Like, you're going to sleep on the couch
every night. That was something that was
night.
funny that you were really worried about.
I
You were
was
like,
really
I
worried
don't
about
want
stairs.
to have to carry the baby upstairs. It's so cute, y'all. Because especially as a already mama, like I know that that's not as, and all the mamas listening right now are like, aw, because you're so worried about being able to carry this baby up and down stairs safely. And like when I tell you as a mom,
Well, because I don't want to. I play the worst scenarios in my head. I'm like, what if I'm carrying the baby up to its bed and I trip on the stairs,
oh
or
my
like
gosh.
I play crazy scenarios like
It's
that
so
in my
cute.
head.
I love
And
that,
I'm like, nope, just keep it nice and flat.
Well, now we will have a home with no stairs.
No stairs. That way, no risk. We're good. There's sidewalks outside.
It's so cute. It's so
flat.
cute. It's so cute. It's so cute. But,
But
you
it's
know,
perfect.
but it's true in terms of like the stairs inside thing is just an adorable thing you're concerned about. But I will tell you, as a parent, you end up with this weird second thing that happens to you. It doesn't mean mistakes don't happen, and it doesn't mean, but like they're unavoidable mistakes.
Right.
But for the most part, you have this like radar thing in you that like keeps you alert to your child. I don't know how to explain it.
Right.
Like, so for instance, I think I've told you I've had scenarios where Allie, you know, when she was only maybe like 4 or 5, when babies sleep, first of all, they're knocked out, right? Like, I mean, even now she's 12, and when she is asleep, she is gone to the world, right? Because she feels safe, you know? So she's 4, sleeping next to me in a hotel room bed, and starts to roll off that bed. I don't know if I was asleep or half awake or whatever. I reach out and grab, it was like I could feel that she was
Right.
falling, and grabbed her and threw her back in the bed before she hit that ground. Sis didn't even wake up.
Right, like
You
all
know
the
what I mean?
videos with all the epic dad saves.
Epic
and mom
dad saves. I'm
like,
telling you, and even if you do fall down the stairs, you better believe that baby is you're going to Simba that baby. It will land up in the air.
Right.
And your body will
I'll be bleeding and
bleeding
whatever at the
and
bottom of the
everything.
stairs,
That baby
but the
will
baby
be
will be there and
fine.
fine.
Okay, that baby will be fine. Okay, so it's just funny that you mentioned the stair thing, but realistically, the other preparation stuff around the wellness of a pregnancy before the baby even shows up, we wanted a neighborhood with, you know, flat sidewalks that we could walk. You know, like I just got my new sneakers from Nike, the Motivas, that I love, and they're like rocking sneakers.
Oh yeah, you showed me the cushion. I was like, it's like an inch and a half thick of just walking on a
Listen,
cloud cushion. I was like,
can
oh,
you
those look
imagine
comfy.
being pregnant when you have swollen ankles, swollen knees, and I'm able to walk comfortably because they're designed to kind of help me with my foot
I know
placement.
that's gonna be major.
It's going to be
yeah.
major because when I'm pregnant, listen, there are a lot of pregnant women who are like runners and athletes and competing in the Olympics. I mean, Serena, you know, won Wimbledon, you know, while pregnant with, you know, her baby, you know, so I'm not them. So I feel like a good precursor is kind of where did you start and where are you going to end up?
Mhm.
And because I don't have that baseline of fitness, I do know walking is something I can do and I should do to help me maintain my wellness during pregnancy. And you can help support that. But we wanted to pick a neighborhood, you know, and get the right tools, resources, athletic equipment, and gear so that I'm able to, when you're not around, at least have the freedom to walk and you don't have to worry.
Right.
You know, so it's interesting because I'm glad that I have gear that I know will support me during that process
Mhm.
from Nike, you know, because all their stuff. And you think I look good in it, which is also really
Oh,
nice.
that also has good.
It helps
yeah.
to support it. It's a little perk, you know. And they also have maternity workout bras, which just further emphasizes when you're pregnant, you know, I still have the ability to do everything I could do before and stay healthy and fit,
Mhm.
you know. So it's been fun to kind of start that journey now and build out the habits so that hopefully, you know, as I go through pregnancy, you know, I'm able to do this. And can I just say, it's weird to talk about this thing, this certainty, you know, of having a baby when I think of like where we were just a couple years ago, even though it's always been on our mind.
Yeah.
How does it feel for you? Is it weird to talk about like knowing that we'll be coming back here to talk to the internet aunties in, I don't know when, honestly, but you know, at some point and
Mhm.
sharing that we're having a baby?
Yeah. I mean, it's exciting. It's exciting.
That's what you feel is
yeah,
excitement?
I feel excitement. I'm like, we're gonna
I'm
make
nervous.
some good looking
I'm
kids.
going to be honest. Oh, good looking
Right,
kids. That's it.
Good looking, talented, smart. That kid's gonna rule the world.
Oh
like,
my
are you
gosh. It's funny because I'm so used to my kids being pre-cooked.
kidding me? Right.
So it's like I already know what I'm getting. I've had the Yelp of children. I'm able to go in there and be like, I know what the dish looks like. I'll take those. It's
right,
been
but this
great.
one
And
it's
they're
gonna-
reliable.
It's gonna wait and
Yes,
see.
I know. Oh my gosh.
But yeah,
it's something.
it's excitement. It's nervousness. It's excitement. It puts a fire under me to prepare, like not just to prepare physically, but to
Mhm.
prepare like in my business,
Mhm,
you know, and
mhm.
professionally.
That
to,
is
to
such
make sure.
that's a big shift we've been making also is really
Yeah.
looking because also obviously again, like I said at the top, y'all, you'll never be prepared enough. You'll never have enough. It'll always be we could
Always
use
be
more.
something. Always be
Always
something,
something
yeah.
else, you know. But realistically, if you know that having more children is something you want to do, which I think that was the big question for us was how would we feel if we didn't have children? Not so much because listen, transparently, we have a great life.
good life.
Sometimes we even look at each other and we're like, do we want kids?
I know, because we could literally just go travel and
Just like hang out. We like each other. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? And also we have children already and we love our babies. You know what I mean? Like parenting Allie is like, we talk about her all the time. It's such a joy. Like, and it's so fulfilling. But then when we think about not making a child together,
right, then I feel like this weird sadness, or
I feel the same
or
thing.
FOMO,
Yeah.
or I feel like I'm gonna get on the other side of it, and
we're gonna
feel like
wish we had had that
wish we had
journey
done it.
together,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah.
And I think that that's the part that kind of put us firmly in the okay, this is a yes column.
Yeah, because I could see myself being sad that we didn't make that move when it was possible,
Right.
you know, and then now we're getting older, and
Which I don't have much of a window, transparently, you know, to be
yeah,
able to.
and there's and again, like, you have kids, like,
Mhm.
well, you know,
We have
we have
kids now,
kids, you know,
yeah.
I've, like, you know, and it's great. But the
It's
whole
different.
and it's different, and the whole experience of having like a bio kid, you
Mhm.
know, is something that I've wanted to do in
And
my
what's
lifetime.
nice is it's unique to us. Like it gets to be part of our thing. Like there's something that we get to do together that, you know, I have been married before, you know,
Yeah.
and I obviously am a mom forever, you know,
Right.
and also I'm a universal mom. You know that
You
about
are
me.
to everybody.
Everybody's babies
Right.
are my babies, right? So
But those
like,
are becoming apparent, like that. Those are experiences.
I've never been pregnant before.
Yeah, I mean,
I've never had an infant.
I've never
you
been married
know?
before. Like,
Yes.
this is my first go of all of this.
So it's really special because I think we
yeah.
get to have this season together uniquely, which is going to be exciting.
Mhm.
But that said, you know, in terms of preparation, outside of doing what we can for our own physical wellness, you know, particularly my wellness, you know, getting the right gear, doing the right steps, doing things I can do through pregnancy, you know, there's also preparing our lives. So like in the workspace, you know, I am looking to put more emphasis on certain elements of my work. Like I do more speaking gigs now,
Mhm.
because that allows me to be home, you know, and I get to structure my day. So I don't try not to work on Mondays and Fridays.
Mhm.
So I have 4 days off and 3 days on, which is hugely helpful.
But those 3 days, I will note, are very on.
They are very stacked. Yes,
Very
they're very,
stacked.
very full days.
It's not less work. For anyone listening, it's not less work because there are other days off. It just all gets condensed and
You're right
packed
about
into 3
that.
days.
I'm basically putting a 45-hour work
So
week
there's
into
trade-offs,
3
but,
days.
you know,
And the
good.
same things
Yeah.
for you. I think that what's amazing is you handle mornings and afternoons with Allie so that I'm able to have those middle times off.
Mhm.
But you're also building out a regularity in your structure as you're doing things.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm building up, you know, it's like, you know, I've been doing good stuff and it's getting better and better.
And profession shifts also because you used to do more touring,
Yeah, more
more
traveling,
recording with
and
artists,
recording and stuff. And
performing stuff,
yeah, and you know, I've been doing more music production
Mhm.
and seeing
composing.
and seeing a lot of progress there,
Mhm.
and that's, you know, the focus.
Yeah.
And this is, you know, as you like to say, it's build season.
It is build
You
season.
know,
We're
I've
building
been doing a lot of good
everything.
stuff, and I'm looking forward to doing more good stuff. But this
Mhm.
is the real build
Oh my
season.
gosh.
What?
And shout out, you're nominated for a Telly Award for a commercial that you did music for. I love you and I'm proud of you and I'm bragging about you to the aunties.
Thank you.
That was amazing. Yeah, you've had a lot of really great projects coming out.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
really
good
proud of
stuff,
you.
and there's gonna be a lot more. And this is,
Mhm.
you know, like I said, so it's build season. So
Yeah,
like,
and you were
I'm
just
putting in.
accepted to a really elite music program here in LA. We're not going to talk about all the details.
Yeah.
You can know later, but
Yeah.
you know that's also really big. So you're going to
Yeah,
be part of this
and
program.
so getting as much experience as I
Mhm.
can under my belt, and pushing, you know, my own brand and my business as far as I can to establish myself the best that I can by the time the baby comes.
Yeah.
So I've already done, hopefully, the vast majority of the grunt work required, you know, to propel my career.
Right. Which I
know?
mean, the upside is you are doing so much of this already. It helps that you're a trained composer. It helps that you're trained in
I have been doing it, but now with the
production.
energy of a baby, you know,
It's
like
a little fuel to the fire.
It's fuel on the fire because, again, because you are a seasoned chicken,
Right.
we don't have a lot of
We
time.
don't. Yeah,
And
transparently.
transparently, we don't
especially
have
if
a
you
lot
want
of
to get in a
time.
second even.
Yeah,
or
so
if-
it's like, so
yeah.
all the work that I am, like, I have to do it like right now.
Right.
You know, because
Right.
we also have to make moves on a baby, like
Right now.
like right now,
Like,
you know,
sooner than later.
sooner
Yes,
than
very
later.
soon. Yeah.
So it's like, you know, just preparing everything so then by the time baby comes, we're as prepared as we possibly
As
can
much
be,
as we
and
can.
we
We know
furthered
it
our
won't be
own
perfect.
stuff the furthest we could be. So because I want to be a present dad,
Yeah.
and, you know, you want to be a present mom. So let's
Mhm. do what we
do we
can
need to do
get
right
ready.
now, so then when baby comes, we can be in a better position.
That's right.
You know?
And so do you have any, since you're here and you know the aunties love hearing from you, any sort of feedback, I think, for the aunties who are saying to themselves, gosh, maybe I do feel a call in my life to grow my family, or, is it possible to find someone who will love me, my children, because also you've been parenting prepping by raising Allie as a stepdad. You are full on stepdad mode.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
like, I mean, I can honestly say that one of the blessings of knowing of having kids is I can tell you fully, I don't think I've ever told you this, so I'll tell you now, but I didn't know what a blessing it was to be able to see you be a dad first. So like I always knew that I had a calling on my life to have more children.
Mhm.
That was something I always knew I was supposed to be a bio mom. I didn't understand how that would manifest in my first marriage because there were other challenges, right? But I still had that call on my spirit once I was divorced. And so what was complicated for me was I didn't know how that was going to be answered, because there was also some of the fear and the trauma around it. Plus I had 3 babies and I was getting older. So I was like, this doesn't make sense to me. How am I even going to trust some dude to have children with them? And I didn't realize that the blessing of already having and being a mom and 3 kids is that I was able to see you be a dad.
Right.
Also.
Yeah, I guess you got to sample it too.
I didn't even know how amazing, like.
And it's been, it was an adjustment at first. I stumbled a couple of times.
Sure.
Because how can you just be plunged into fatherhood? And
do you want to give an example of that stumbling, or you don't have to if you want to?
Oh, I don't care. It's fine. No, like the call.
Oh,
first
the
and
call.
The call. The call heard around not heard around the world.
Right.
Because you were on set.
I was filming a TV show.
Yeah, she was filming a show, and her schedule was crazy, and she had asked me like, "Hey, please call Allie." At this time, we had already met, and me and Allie were already kind of like, getting to know each other and talking a little bit on our own. If she had a problem or something, I'm
step
here.
in.
Step in.
She knew you were a resource.
She knew I was a resource.
Yeah.
And so, you would ask me to call and check up on her, make sure everything's all good.
Because it was our usual nighttime check, but I was on set for like 15 hours that day, and because of time zones, it was like, I'm not going to make her 7:30 bedtime call. So I was like, hey, today I'm not going to make it.
Right.
Can you just check in?
Right.
Yeah.
And
you actually volunteered.
Yeah. I was like, yeah, I can absolutely do that.
Yeah.
Like I can do that. And I completely spaced.
Yeah.
I completely spaced. I did not make that, I guess, like a priority for me that day. Like it was on the agenda to do. And I was like, okay, like I'll give her a call, like whatever. I didn't think it was a big deal. But the way you flipped out on me.
Well, because Allie was calling me and I was on set. So I get back and you'll understand what I'm saying now. And every mom listening already knows what I'm talking about. Like literally all the moms right now are like, because and they love you, but they know what I'm feeling right now. When I got off set and I look at my phone and I have like 4 or 5 missed calls for my daughter, every mom knows that for me, you would have to fight to keep me in California.
Right.
I was ready to run because I'm like, that is not, no mom ever wants to experience that, right? So then it becomes, first I check in on my baby, you know what I mean? And then I call you and I'm like, hey, what happened here? You know what I mean? Well, I'm saying it nicely here. I don't know, but the mamas can catch my energy. Y'all can hear my tone right now. I was like, what happened here?
Yeah.
And it's so funny because a lot of people, I guess we're going to keep it really candid. A lot of people don't know that side of me. Everyone thinks I'm so syrupy, sweet, or whatever.
Which you are.
And I am a nice person.
But also, it's like Mama Bear. Mama Bear is like really, it's like very sweet and cuddly, but Mama Bear can also maul.
No, like my baseline is like grace, kindness, whatever,
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, when it comes to my company, like as a businesswoman, I am a businesswoman. So, if
different entities.
Different entities. And then when it comes to my children, I am a fierce protector.
Yeah.
Period. You're not going to get like the niceties are out the window when it comes to my kids.
Right.
And I don't care who you are. And you were a new guy. You know what I mean? This was a new level of trust because I never asked you to raise or help with my kids at that point. It was, I got this,
but I wanted to help and I wanted to be helpful. My intentions were good.
I went off on you.
Oh, yeah,
I went off.
Oh, went off.
I said no.
Oh, yeah. And after that moment, I realized how important it is that I really need to like change the way I'm thinking about this, because I really need to step it up. If I say I'm going to do this, I really, really need to do it, especially if it concerns the kid.
Yes.
And, and I don't think I've stumbled
Never.
that
Not
bad.
Not once.
Since there's maybe a couple little things where I
No, but
dropped the ball,
no,
but like
but not
nothing
even
like
that.
that.
Nothing
But
like that. Not even. And the thing is, let's just be transparent. Missing a call is not even that bad. I'm not some like nutcase, right? It's not that. It was the first thing. It was that you offered to do it. It was a trust factor, and it's also, I know my girls. I know the trauma they've dealt with. I know their background. So if you say that you're going to follow through with something, I need that follow through to happen.
right, doesn't
And it
matter
was
what it is.
right. And I also needed you to understand that, like, hey, these are kids. And if you let me down, it's one thing. The kids are a different animal. So it was
Mhm.
just that it was a more loaded scenario. But the call itself, like now, if you miss a call with the kids, I'm like, it's cool. They're fine.
Right.
Whatever.
The scenario was loaded.
And you
so,
also
yeah.
have established history with them now. So
Right,
it's
right.
totally different.
And I've been
you
very,
know?
very consistent.
You
and
have.
that is, I've been
They
working
count
really,
on you.
I've been working really, really hard.
I mean, even if my older girls can't get a hold of me, they know they can call you
Yeah, they
and
can call
talk
me.
through whatever the issue is.
Yeah.
Like you are basically their like number 2 go-to
Right.
person to talk to.
Right.
And so it's interesting because in that scenario, I remember being like really firm about like, hey, don't play with this. And since then, we've had like the things that you drop the ball on are actually things that honestly, I don't know if I've told you this, but every parent drops the ball on stuff like, hey, you know, you might have been a softie with the kid now, but she's getting older now and you have to be firm. Or
Right,
you
right,
might have
right.
pushed bedtime a little bit, but recognize you're going to deal with a pain in the morning. You
Right,
know, like
right.
that's normal stuff,
Right,
you know.
right.
But
But,
it was nice to see you. It's been nice to see you parent with
mhm.
her because it's only made me feel even more prepared. I have never questioned if it was a good decision to have children with you. Like, and honestly, when I tell other people, I'm like, if that part of it, it feels like a privilege to get to be the mother of your children because you're going to be such a good dad. And I'm so grateful that I'm older and doing this because I'm so much wiser. Like I was married first at 22. So I was really young. I honestly didn't have any business getting married in general. I was just too young, you know,
Mhm.
like for me. Some people it's great, but for me, I wasn't ready. But at 39, I couldn't be more confident no matter what happens with us that parenting with you is a privilege because you are going to be an excellent father. An excellent,
Thank you.
excellent father. Like to me or anyone else. Like hopefully nobody else.
Right.
You know what I mean? But
And I
you
will
know?
also say in terms of like, you know, some women thinking if they have kids, like a guy's not going to be into that or whatever.
Yeah.
It's funny because a lot of people in my family are actually step parents.
Mm.
Like my cousin Zog
Mhm.
is a stepfather,
Mhm.
and now they have their own bio kid.
Mhm. And it's just one, I wouldn't have known if you hadn't said anything. They're just one big family.
Yeah,
And he roots for her, cheers for her.
and my cousin Lisa, she is a stepmother.
Oh, I forget about that too.
Yep.
Yeah.
Her husband Michael has two kids from a
Mhm.
previous marriage,
And she has bios also.
and now they have their bios.
Mhm.
So, you know, and I'm the third in my family, in my immediate family, to be a
Right,
step parent. So this
right.
is not rare, at least on my family, and this
Mhm.
isn't.
It's probably less rare than
it's-
we think it is.
It's probably less rare, yeah,
Right.
and it's not as weird as people think it is or whatever. It's like if you love this person, you know,
You love all of them.
you love all of them.
I think that may be the feedback that we can leave people with is
Mhm.
just, you know, as you are looking to shape your life and prepare for the future and things like that, if you feel like your kids are a hindrance, little do you know, you may be putting your ick into the moment, you know, and your own preconceived notions, and your
Mhm.
partner's not even thinking about that. If anything, your partner could be thinking, or potential partner or future partner could be thinking, it's a bonus. It's a blessing. You know, and I think that every single day as I see you parent and as we plan for our future, it feels like a blessing.
That's
So
mhm.
thank you so much for having this conversation with me here. It's I will say it's weird to talk about this stuff. It's interesting because we only really share like 10% of where we are. We share the rest later. But
Right.
it feels
Little bits
weird
at
to
a
talk
time.
about it, you
Yeah.
know, here.
Yeah.
But I appreciate it because I know that it can be helpful for so many. And the
For sure.
internet aunties are always keeping an eye on you. So when they hear from you periodically, it's a good thing.
I know I need them on my side, so I'm glad.
You're all in.
I'm
You're
glad
all
to chime
in.
in.
You're all in. All right. I love you so much. Thank
Love
you for
you too.
being here.
Yeah, for sure.